Trudy, without further ado, please can I invite you to the stage and ask you to give us your view on where we're going in this sector.
Well, thank you, Dave, and also thank you for all the work that you've done here at Warwick Manufacturing Group. I had the pleasure of an introduction on the train from Margot about the fantastic work that you're doing here. I think you really effectively set out the benefits, but also the considerations that we are bearing in mind as we bring forward the legislation needed for micromobility. It's a real pleasure to be here opening the UK's only dedicated micromobility event. There are some really fascinating discussions taking place. I know they will continue today. I'm certainly looking forward to trialling for myself some of the micromobility vehicles that are available today, and Dave certainly reminded me of a very enjoyable ride through London on the back of that BMW electric motorbike. We're in a time of really unprecedented innovation and challenge in the transport sector. It is a transport revolution, and we're seeing old vehicles reimagined, new vehicles bursting onto the scene, and a surge in popularity for smaller, low-speed, zero-emission vehicles intended for individual users, but also for small cargo loads. And even just in the 5 minutes I've been here, I've seen some fantastic examples with brilliant design. That alone is a growing global industry, and it's worth billions, with the products and services within it evolving and innovating at a really rapid pace. That's the story of micromobility as it stands, and I don't think I need to convince anybody in this room of the benefits, that it's a fast, pacey page-turner. And as we can see today, they represent a huge opportunity to foster British innovation. I'm a northerner, so I know a lot about innovation, skills and engineering, but it's brilliant to see that this opportunity really is being spread right across the UK. These vehicles can also have a transformative impact on transport across our cities, towns and villages, where they make the last mile journeys easier, and in those rural areas where they improve connectivity, combat isolation, and really just make communities better connected. Of course, walking and cycling remain the best and healthiest options for many of the short urban and rural journeys, with the Prime Minister's commitment to half of all journeys in towns and cities being walked or cycled by 2030. But clearly micromobility can help us reach our decarbonisation goals. Transport is the biggest carbon-emitting sector in the UK, and these vehicles provide an alternative zero-emission means of transport to those who might otherwise make those journeys by a car or a van, or maybe not at all. I think that's really important to consider as well. Bringing carbon-busting benefits, boosting air quality and cutting congestion. For communities up and down the country, that could mean better, quieter places to live, work, do business. However, these are fundamentally new vehicles. There are more of them on our streets than ever before, and popularity is only growing. And we face the challenge of integrating new vehicles into an existing transport network. So we in government have the responsibility to secure safety for everyone, for the public and for other road users, and in the case of micromobility, for those who choose to own or rent a micromobility vehicle. And to uphold that responsibility, we need to look at the rules. With increasing numbers of these vehicles on the world's roads, standing idle is absolutely no answer. We all know that. And we also know, as Dave has already set out, that safety is and must remain the #1 priority. So we need the right regulation. It needs to be measured, responsible and safe, and to make sure that we get it right first time. There is limited evidence around the impact of e-scooters at the moment. This is to be expected because, simply put, they are a new mode of transport. And this is why we've been running the National E-Scooter rental trials that have been operating in my own constituency in Copeland. We have 30 of them right across England taking place right now. They're a balanced and fair-minded approach to better understanding the impacts of e-scooters on our roads and communities. And we put them in place because we need to collect the evidence. We need to know and mitigate the potential risks, and we need to determine a safe course that benefits users, industry and the public, and that builds public confidence, really crucially. The evidence we've gathered to date has shaped the basis of our plans to change the rules. I know everyone in this room has a stake in those plans and in any changes to the state of play. Today, most micromobility vehicles cannot legally be used on the roads here in the UK. It's because they are classed as motor vehicles, which means that they must meet a wide range of requirements that by the design of the legislation and by the design of vehicles themselves is hard to comply with. This is not a conscious choice by government, but a symptom of the rapid evolution of the micromobility market. However, it shows that it isn't enough to find a fix for one kind of vehicle. We need an answer that we can use for all the challenges as far as we can for the future. So the speed and creativity of government matches that of the private sector. We cannot leave these questions unanswered. If government does not act, the world does not stand still, of course. The absence of a regulatory framework, particularly for vehicles that provide the mobility we want without huge expense or environmental consequences, encourages some people to take the law into their own hands. And we must avoid unregulated and unsafe vehicles being used on our roads. We must crack down on illegal and irresponsible use. But we must also provide a pathway to safe legal use. We do not want to lose out on the many, many benefits of micromobility, which you all understand. In fact, we want to harness the potential to reduce congestion and improve access to opportunities, jobs and services. So we'll publish ahead with changes as one part of a wider transport bill, and you'll hear the full details of that in the coming weeks. I very much welcome your support in helping me get that over the line in Parliament, because you absolutely can play a part in doing just that. But for now, I just want to touch upon the thinking that's shaped the new rules that will be part of the bill. As I've said, UK law is not designed for innovative low-speed, low-emission vehicles. The system needs a category that's independent of what already exists for a cycle, motor vehicles, a category which covers vehicles that are familiar to us today, such as e-scooters, but which can also flex to encompass future types of micromobility vehicles too. Introducing a flexible regulatory framework will ensure that these vehicles are regulated to improve safety for all, from the users of the vehicles to other road users and, importantly, pedestrians. It can create a clear, fit-for-purpose and fully enforceable regime for all new micromobility vehicles, including robust technical requirements and new rules for both private and rental e-scooters. And whilst no further decision about e-scooter secondary regulations have been made yet, this does open up an opportunity to consult widely with those of you attending today and many others to help shape this regime and best realise the benefits of the vehicles. And they are the sorts of conversation that we need to keep having, because micromobility cuts across so many areas, from manufacturers to users, to researchers and scheme operators, to city councils and local authorities. There is a lot more to micromobility than just e-scooters, and I look forward to working with you to unleash the full potential of this new class of vehicles. And in terms of local authorities, in the future, we want to give you the power to regulate rental micromobility services so that any business wanting to run cycle, e-cycle or LZEV rental schemes will need to apply for a licence from their local transport authority. This will help to ensure consistency across local areas, that data is shared widely, that new options can be easily connected to the rest of the transport system, and that operators comply with national vehicle requirements and safety. And this is designed to make sure that micromobility keeps the trust of the public. We recognise that any regime also has to be proportionate and to remain focused on providing a community with safe, accessible services that they can use with ease. It has to make it easy for successful examples of micromobility to spread without running into unnecessary barriers. We will want thoughts on local government and business to build a system that benefits everyone, everywhere. And with the right regulatory framework, micromobility will deliver real benefits for people and places right across this country and provide accessible, affordable, zero-emission choices to the public at a time, I think, when industry needs it most. Today, climate change and the necessary plans for decarbonisation pose big questions for the transport sector, and I think we can certainly all agree in this room that micromobility vehicles are proof that good things and big answers can come in small packages. So thank you very much for the hard work that you have done so far. I very much look forward to seeing more of the vehicles, maybe even trialling some, and certainly enjoying the rest of conference, and I hope you all do too. Thank you.